Question 23, Part A. Show that the equation 2x cubed plus 4x equals 3 has a solution between 0 and 1. Now you may remember from other things you have studied at GCSE that you find a solution to an equation when the graph of that equation crosses the x-axis. So if we set the equation equal to 0, so I've just subtracted 3 from both sides here, and if I'm told there's a solution between 0 and 1, by inputting 0 and by inputting 1 I should see a change of sign in the answer, and I do here, like it goes from -3 to +3. That means if I was graphing 2x cubed plus 4x minus 3, when x equals 0 the graph is below the x-axis, it's coming in at -3 as a y value, and when x is 1 it's coming in as +3. Therefore, between x equals 0 and x equals 1, the graph must cross the x-axis, and where it crosses the x-axis is the solution. When you are showing this, make sure you write out your sum with 0 substituted in for x, and then with 1 substituted in for x. You get your two different answers, and then write a sentence saying that there must be a solution between the x values of 0 and 1 because there is a change in sign. Part B. Show that 2x cubed plus 4x equals 3 can be rearranged to give x equals 3/4 minus x cubed over 2. Now this can be seen as being a tricky rearranging because it might be unclear to you which x here on the left hand side of the equal sign remains and which x goes over to the right hand side. But if you look at the x on the right hand side, it's x cubed, which means it's pretty likely that the x cubed next to the 2 is the one that has moved, and the x next to the 4 is the one that has remained. Therefore, my first step is to take 2x cubed from both sides, so I'm left with 4x equals 3 minus 2x cubed. If I then divide everything by 4, so I've got my 1x here, I get 3 minus 2x cubed over 4. Split them into two fractions because that's what I'm trying to rearrange to, and this allows the 2 and the 4 to simplify down to 1 and 2, and I've rearranged my original equation into what I've been asked to rearrange it into. Part C. Starting with x0 equals 0, use the iteration formula xn plus 1 equals 3/4 minus xn cubed over 2 3 times to find an estimate for the solution to 2x cubed plus 4x equals 3. Now, even if you had no idea what was going on with Part A or Part B, you can pick marks up here because it tells you to start with the first value of x as 0. So when our first value of x is 0, I put the 0 where the x is. So this x cubed here becomes 0 cubed. And if we work out 3/4 minus 0 cubed over 2, you get 3/4 as your answer. We then take the value of 3/4 for our second attempt, or our second estimate of the solution, and put that where the x cubed is. So this time I have 3/4 minus 3/4 cubed over 2, and I get an exact value of 69 over 128. I'm asked to do it 3 times, so for the third time I take 69 over 128 and put that where the x cubed is. If you type that into your calculator, you don't get an exact value, so you can't give the answer as a fraction, and I get 0.671677.